Stop being a loser failure and become a winner now. Part 1, Chapter 1. You're not unlucky, you're undisciplined. Most people walking around calling themselves unlucky aren't unlucky at all. They're lazy, unfocused, addicted to comfort, and allergic to responsibility. That's the truth nobody wants to hear, so they hide behind excuses. Bad upbringing, bad boss, bad relationship, bad economy, bad timing. Always something. Never them. Here's reality. Winners don't get lucky. They get structured. They wake up when they don't feel like it. They do the boring work. They repeat unsexy habits until results are inevitable. Losers chase motivation. Winners build systems. If your life feels chaotic, it's because you're chaotic. Your sleep is trash. Your body is neglected. Your finances are sloppy. Your attention is scattered across notifications, drama, porn, junk food, and opinions that don't matter. Then you wonder why nothing's working. You don't need confidence. You need control. Discipline is confidence in action. When you do what you said you would do, every day, you stop doubting yourself. Doubt disappears when execution becomes routine. That's why disciplined people walk differently, speak differently, decide faster. They don't negotiate with weakness. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your habits. And right now, your habits are telling the world exactly who you are. This chapter isn't here to inspire you. It's here to wake you up. If this pisses you off, good. That anger is energy. Use it. The moment you stop lying to yourself is the moment your life actually starts changing. No one is coming to save you. No one owes you understanding. No one cares about your potential. They only care about results. And results come from discipline, not feelings. Intro. Revenge. Yes, revenge. No one wants to admit it, but revenge feels good. When someone wronged you, hurt you, tried to destroy you, vengeance is yours. The world has become soft. No one wants to admit the truth, and revenge is useful. Revenge is human nature. Revenge is inner peace. We need inner peace, but how do we get revenge? We change our focus. We program our mind to know we're working on revenge. Our revenge is a sequence of chess moves. You must focus on the revenge setup. Strategy. Yes, you will win, but it takes strategic moves to get your ultimate revenge. This audiobook will teach you how to get the ultimate revenge. Before you continue with this audiobook, you'll need to hit the subscribe button now and the like button. Then this audiobook will continue. Hit the subscribe button now so you can learn how to get your revenge. Chapter 2. Losers talk, winners move. Pay attention to this because it will change everything. Losers love to talk. Winners love to move. Losers explain. Winners execute. Losers announce plans. Winners disappear. Most people broadcast ideas because it gives them the illusion of progress. Talking feels productive, but it costs nothing. Moving costs effort, risk, repetition, failure. That's why most people stay stuck. They confuse noise with action. Real power is quiet. When you're actually working, you don't have time to argue online, gossip, or post motivational quotes you're not living. You're too busy building leverage, skills, money, strength, positioning. Winners don't need validation because they validate themselves through results. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you're constantly talking about what you're going to do, you're not doing it. If you're explaining your situation to everyone, you're looking for sympathy instead of solutions. Winners don't explain. They adjust, they see data, they correct course, they keep moving. This is why going silent is powerful. Silence scares weak people because it removes their ability to influence you. When you stop reacting, you gain control. When you stop explaining, you gain authority. Let people misunderstand you. Let them doubt you. Let them underestimate you. That's not a disadvantage. That's cover. Every major leap in life happens when you stop talking and start stacking wins privately. You don't need permission. You need momentum. Momentum beats motivation every time. Move first. Explain later. If ever. Chapter 3. Your body is the entry fee. Let's make something very clear. If you neglect your body, nothing else you build matters. Your body is not cosmetic. It's strategic. Strength changes how people treat you. Fitness changes how you see yourself. Energy changes how you think. And confidence? Confidence follows capability. This is why weak bodies create weak lives. When you're physically capable, you tolerate less nonsense. You carry yourself differently. You don't beg. You don't shrink. You don't chase validation. Your presence does the talking. Getting in shape isn't about vanity. It's about leverage. A strong body gives you higher energy, sharper focus, emotional stability, respect without asking. Discipline spill over into money and work. Most people ignore this because it's hard, because it requires consistency, because results aren't instant. That's exactly why it works. Fitness is the ultimate filter. It removes excuses from your identity. When you prove to yourself that you can push through discomfort daily, everything else gets easier. Business pressure, relationship stress, financial swings. You've already trained your nervous system to handle strain. That's why physically fit people dominate rooms without speaking. They don't need hype. They're embodied confidence. If you're serious about becoming a winner, your body is non-negotiable. Train it like your future depends on it, because it does. Chapter 4. Stop seeking comfort, start building power. Comfort is the drug keeping people average. Comfort says, you deserve a break. Power says, finish the job. Comfort says, relax, you've done enough. Power says, you're not done yet. Most people design lives around feeling good instead of becoming formidable. That's backwards. Feeling good is a byproduct, not a strategy. Power is built under pressure. The ability to delay gratification is the dividing line between winners and everyone else. Winners sacrifice now so they don't have to later. Losers do the opposite. You don't need balance right now, you need momentum. There will be time for ease later, when you've earned leverage. Until then, comfort is the enemy. It dulls your edge. It blurs your urgency. It weakens your standards. This doesn't mean burnout. It means intention. You choose discomfort that builds strength instead of comfort that builds regret. Every time you choose the harder option, you're reinforcing an identity, someone who can be trusted with bigger opportunities. This is how winners are forged, not in moments of motivation, but in moments where quitting would be easier. Power respects effort. Life rewards pressure-tested people. If you want a different life, you need different standards. Comfort keeps you where you are. Discipline moves you forward. Choose accordingly. Part 2. Chapter 5. Cut the dead weight or stay broke. If you're surrounded by people who complain, gossip, overthink, or live in excuses, congratulations. You found the reason you're stuck. Weak environments produce weak outcomes. This isn't personal, it's physics. You don't rise above your circle. You get dragged down to its average. Energy leaks are real. Time vampires are real. People who care about you but never improve themselves are anchors pretending to be friends. Winners don't debate this. They prune aggressively. Dead weight looks like friends who discourage ambition, partners who drain focus, family members who guilt you into staying small, coworkers who normalize mediocrity. You don't need closure, you need separation. Every conversation costs attention. Every relationship takes maintenance. If the return is negativity, distraction, or comfort addiction, you're paying a tax you can't afford. Losers keep everyone. Winners keep standards. This doesn't mean disrespect. It means distance, silence, boundaries. You stop explaining yourself because explanations invite negotiations, and winners don't negotiate with weakness. When you level up, some people won't come with you, not because you changed, but because you exposed the gap. That's not betrayal. That's reality. If you're serious about becoming a winner, your inner circle must reflect discipline, progress, and execution. Anything else is sabotage disguised as loyalty. Choose wisely. Chapter 6. Money responds to value, not wishes. Let's end the fantasy. Money doesn't care about your intentions, your trauma, or your effort. Money responds to value delivered. That's it. People who struggle financially usually talk about money the most. They blame systems, markets, bosses, or timing. Winners study leverage. Money flows to skills that solve problems. People who execute under pressure. Systems that scale without emotion. If you're broke, it's not because the world is unfair. It's because your skill set isn't sharp enough yet. That's good news. Skills are learnable. Winners obsess over mastery. They ask, what can I do that moves the needle? What skill pays forever if I get elite at it? Sales, marketing, negotiation, communication, leadership. These aren't optional. They're multipliers. Stop chasing easy money. Start building durable value. Money respects consistency. It compounds where discipline lives. It punishes emotional decisions and rewards cold execution. You don't manifest money, you position for it. When your value increases, income follows automatically. No begging, no chasing, no desperation. Be useful at scale, and money won't leave you. Chapter 7. Emotional control is dominance. Here's a truth that scares people. Whoever controls their emotions controls the room. Emotional people are predictable. Predictable people are controllable. Winners train emotional restraint like a weapon, not because they're numb, because they're strategic. You don't react, you respond. You don't explode. You calculate. You don't vent. You adjust. Most people lose leverage the moment they open their mouth emotionally. Anger, insecurity, excitement, all information leaks. Silence preserves power. When chaos hits and you stay calm, people notice. When pressure rises and you don't flinch, authority shifts toward you. Emotional control isn't about suppression, it's about timing. You decide when emotion is useful, and most of the time it's not. This is why disciplined people intimidate without threats. They don't need volume. Their stillness speaks. Train this daily. Pause before reacting. Detach from outcomes. Observe before engaging. Control your reactions, and you control the narrative. Chapter 8. Identity comes first. Results follow. You don't become a winner by chasing wins. You become a winner by becoming the type of person who wins. Identity precedes outcome. Losers ask, what should I do? Winners ask, who do I need to be? When your identity is disciplined, actions align automatically. When your identity is strong, temptation weakens. When your identity is clear, decisions speed up. Stop trying to feel motivated. Start acting in alignment. Ask yourself, what would a disciplined winner do today? Then do that, regardless of mood. Identity is built through repetition. Every kept promise reinforces trust with yourself. Every skipped workout, delayed task, or broken commitment fractures it. Winners protect their self-trust at all costs. You don't rise because of hype. You rise because your identity doesn't allow mediocrity anymore. Once that switch flips, everything accelerates. Part 2. Complete Part 3. Chapter 9. Discipline is the separator. Talent doesn't separate winners from losers. Motivation doesn't either. Discipline does. Discipline is doing what needs to be done when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. That's the difference most people refuse to accept. They wait for energy. Winners create momentum. Losers negotiate with themselves. Winners execute. Discipline isn't dramatic. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's unsexy. And that's exactly why it works, because most people quit before it compounds. You wake up early, you train your body, you handle your responsibilities, you sharpen your skills, you repeat. No applause, no validation, no posts needed. Discipline builds quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself, the kind that walks into rooms already knowing it belongs there. If you're inconsistent, stop asking why your life feels unstable. Chaos is the tax for lack of structure. Create a schedule and obey it. Create standards and enforce them. Create rules and live by them. Discipline is freedom. It removes decision fatigue, it eliminates excuses, it turns effort into inevitability. You don't rise when you feel ready. You rise when your habits force you forward. Chapter 10. Use pain as fuel or let it bury you. Pain is neutral. It either sharpens you or destroys you. Most people numb it, distract from it, run from it. Winners convert it. Pain becomes power when you stop asking, why me, and start asking, how do I use this? Every betrayal, every loss, every setback, every humiliation, that's fuel, if you choose to burn it correctly. Winners don't waste pain on self-pity. They channel it into intensity, into focus, into drive, into action. Pain becomes a reminder, a motivator, a warning system that keeps them hungry. You don't need revenge, you need results. Success is the loudest response. Stability is the strongest flex. Progress is the ultimate message. When you improve silently, people notice later. When they do, the narrative flips. Suddenly, you changed. Suddenly, you're different. No, you just stopped bleeding in public. Pain is a teacher. Learn fast and move forward. Chapter 11. Win quietly. Let results speak. There's power in silence. Most people talk too much. They announce plans, explain intentions, defend decisions. Winners let results handle communication. Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates respect. Results create authority. When you stop explaining yourself, weak people get uncomfortable. Good. Their opinions were never assets anyway. Operate quietly, move strategically, reveal outcomes, not effort. Social media lies to you. It rewards noise, not substance. Winners don't build for likes. They build for leverage. When you win quietly, people can't sabotage what they don't know. They can't interfere with what they can't track. Let them underestimate you. Let them assume. Let them dismiss. Then let the scoreboard speak. Chapter 12. Become the standard. This is the final shift. You stop chasing validation. You stop proving yourself. You stop competing emotionally. You become the standard. When your life reflects consistency, discipline, and execution, people adjust around you. Conversations change. Expectations shift. Opportunities appear. You don't need permission to operate at a higher level. You don't need approval to live differently. You don't need agreement to be right. Standards attract standards. Mediocrity repels itself. Protect your time. Protect your focus. Protect your energy. You're not here to fit in. You're here to build something undeniable. Once you accept that, everything aligns. No excuses, no apologies, no turning back.